The starship Endeavour descended through the purple haze of Zorith Prime's atmosphere, its engines humming softly. Captain Alex Turner sat in the command chair, eyes scanning the planet below. Cities glowed with strange lights, tall towers twisting like vines, and streets crammed with aliens of all shapes and sizes. Humans rarely visited this sector, but the crew of the Endeavour had orders to explore, make contact, and, if possible, trade. Lily Grant, the ship's engineer, leaned over the console next to Alex. "It looks alive down there," she said, tapping the screen. "Look at all those lights. And the traffic. It's crazy." Ethan Price, communications officer, laughed. "Crazy is one word for it. But that's nothing. Wait until we land. I bet we'll find a million things that are stranger than any traffic jam on Earth." Sophie Hale, the pilot, adjusted her seat, her hands resting on her knees. "I just hope they have a bar. I need something strong after this ride." Her voice carried a mix of humor and exhaustion from the long flight. Alex smiled. "Don't worry, Sophie. We'll find a bar. And maybe some trouble, too." The Endeavour's landing gear touched the platform with a soft thud. The crew disembarked into the warm, humid air of the spaceport. Immediately, they were surrounded by aliens of every size and color. Some had wings, some had scales, some had more than 2 eyes. Their languages collided into a strange melody of sounds that made the humans' heads spin. A small group of aliens paused to look at the humans. One tall, slender figure with glowing eyes leaned to its companion and whispered. Another laughed quietly, the sound like wind through glass. The humans could not understand the words, but they caught the tone. Amusement. Alex, Lily, Ethan, and Sophie walked toward the bustling street, their heads high. Humans had a natural energy that often drew attention. Some aliens stared openly. Others tried to hide their expressions. But it was clear. The humans were different, and different always caught eyes on Zorith Prime. Ethan waved to a small vendor selling glowing fruits. "Hey, what are these called?" The vendor blinked several times, tilting its head in confusion. Finally, it held up a sign with symbols. Ethan tried to pronounce the symbols. Zeka, Zeka. The vendor shook its many arms and laughed. Then, it handed him one of the glowing fruits. Ethan held it up like a trophy. "See? Humans can make friends anywhere." Lily, meanwhile, had wandered toward a nearby device that looked like a giant spinning cube. Her eyes widened. "What is this? Is it art? A machine? Some kind of playground?" She pressed a few buttons, and the cube emitted a series of sounds and lights. She laughed at the effect. Alex shook his head. Lily grinned. "I'm not breaking it. I'm testing it. There's a difference." As they continued, aliens whispered among themselves. Veklar, the tall figure with glowing eyes, had been watching since the humans arrived. "They are mad," he said to a companion. "Look at them. They do not follow rules. They make noise. They touch everything. And they smile, as if this is normal." His companion, shorter and covered in soft, translucent skin, laughed. "It is madness. But it is also entertaining. They are animals wearing reason, yet somehow more dangerous for it." The humans made their way to a large building that pulsed with lights from the inside. The sign above the entrance displayed alien symbols that flickered in rhythm. From inside came music, laughter, and the clatter of glasses. Alex pushed the door open, and they stepped into a crowded tavern. Immediately, the human's presence changed the atmosphere. Conversations quieted slightly, and eyes turned. Ethan let out a low whistle. "This is... wow. I've never seen anything like it." Sophie looked around, scanning the room. "There's our bar," she said, pointing to a counter at the far end, where a multi-armed bartender mixed drinks with precise speed. Lily's eyes sparkled. This is perfect. I want to try everything. She moved toward the bar, examining the bottles and devices the bartender used. She picked up one container, its liquid glowing green. "What is this?" she asked. The bartender tilted its head. Its voice was musical, almost like wind chimes. "Zorathian fire wine. Strong. Dangerous. Entertaining." Lily grinned. "Perfect. Dangerous. And entertaining. My kind of drink." She handed over a small token of currency. Meanwhile, Alex noticed a group of tall aliens in the corner, observing them closely. Their expressions were unreadable, but their eyes glowed faintly. Alex nodded politely. "Let's not start anything." "Not yet." Ethan, ever curious, wandered toward another table. A few aliens sat playing a strange game with pieces that hovered in midair. Ethan's eyes lit up. "What is this? Can humans play?" The aliens looked at each other and laughed. "You will try and fail," one said, its voice like rippling water. Ethan shrugged. Challenge accepted. He sat down, ready to experiment. Even though he had no idea what the rules were, he began moving pieces, testing patterns, and asking questions loudly. The aliens watched, expecting confusion, but he adapted quickly, surprising them. Back at the bar, Lily was sampling drinks, giggling at the flavors. Sophie was busy solving a puzzle the bartender had given her to guess the ingredients in a cocktail. Alex kept an eye on the room, noting the strange ways the humans' energy seemed to attract attention wherever they went. Veklar, observing from a distance, shook his head. "They are foolish," he whispered. "Their energy is raw and uncontrolled. They have no respect for order. They will destroy themselves in moments." Another alien, taller and bulkier, laughed. "Or they will destroy everyone else first. Look at them. They are fearless and chaotic. Madness wears them like armor." The humans continued to explore. Ethan accidentally knocked over a small hovering drink, spilling it onto the table of a serious-looking alien. The alien froze, then stared at him. Ethan smiled nervously. "Oops. Sorry. My bad. Really. I didn't mean..." The alien blinked several times, trying to understand the human. Then it shrugged, more curious than angry. Ethan relaxed. "See? Humans solve problems fast. And we apologize fast. Very fast." Lily had wandered toward a mechanical contraption that seemed like a mix of game and puzzle. She pressed buttons, pulled levers, and the device whirred to life. Lights spun, panels opened, and a small compartment released a glowing crystal. "I did it!" she cheered. Sophie, now finished with her puzzle, walked over. "You always have to touch everything, don't you?" Lily laughed. "Curiosity is a human thing. We can't help it," said we. Quote. Meanwhile, Alex noticed that a small crowd of aliens had gathered around, whispering. They did not understand the humans, but their energy, their laughter, and their chaotic ways were fascinating. The humans were unpredictable, and unpredictability was dangerous in alien eyes. Ethan returned to the bar and ordered a strange-looking drink for Alex. "It's called Starlight Fizz," he said. "No idea what it does. Let's find out." Alex took it cautiously, sipping the glowing liquid. His eyes widened. "That's strong." Lily laughed. "You're weak." Alex shook his head, smiling. "Not weak, just cautious. Humans have a method in their madness." Veklar leaned to his companion. "Method? Madness? They are all chaos, yet there is a strange rhythm to them." The night stretched on. The humans laughed, explored, and interacted with aliens in ways no one expected. They were loud. They were bold. And they were impossible to predict. Every movement, every word, every laugh drew more attention. The aliens whispered among themselves, some mocking, some wary. Ethan found a table where a group of aliens played a strategy game. Within minutes, he had joined, asking questions, moving pieces, and testing ideas the aliens had not considered. Their jaws dropped as he adapted, thinking faster and more creatively than they expected. Lily experimented with a device that shot colored lights in the air, spinning it around. The room gasped as the patterns formed shapes no alien had imagined. Sophie laughed, sipping a drink, while Alex watched calmly, noting the humans' natural ability to turn chaos into control. By the end of the evening, the humans had caused small incidents everywhere. Spilled drinks, broken puzzles, shouted laughter, and daring challenges. And yet, they were not afraid. They did not retreat. They thrived in the chaos. Veklar leaned back, eyes narrowing. They are mad. Yes, but there is strength in their madness. Strength we cannot measure. They are dangerous. His companion nodded slowly. Perhaps we misjudged them. Perhaps their chaos is power. The humans left the bar eventually. Exhausted, but exhilarated. They laughed, teased each other, and joked about the strange creatures they had met. Their energy left a mark on the aliens, a mix of amusement, confusion, and fear. Alex looked at his crew, proud. Not bad for a first visit, he said. They mocked us, but we survived, and we thrived. The crew laughed, unaware that in the eyes of Veklar and others, they had just demonstrated a kind of power no alien could predict. A power born from chaos, courage, and relentless human energy. And so, the night ended. But the story was only beginning. The humans of the Endeavor had arrived, loud, bold, and completely unpredictable. And the aliens, who thought they understood the universe, were about to learn that human madness was far more dangerous and far more fascinating than they could imagine. The night continued on Zorith Prime, and the humans had barely begun to explore the city. After leaving the tavern, Alex led his crew down, winding streets lit by strange neon lights. Shadows stretched across the buildings, and every corner seemed to hold creatures the humans had never seen before. Look at that, Lily said, pointing to a creature with 6 arms spinning small, glowing orbs. What is it doing? Playing, Sophie guessed. Or maybe showing off. Aliens seem to love showing off. Ethan laughed, adjusting his translator device. Or both. Either way, I want to see it closer. He moved forward, his curiosity pulling him through the crowd. As they walked, the humans continued to draw attention. A group of aliens nearby whispered, their glowing eyes flicking between each other. Veklar was among them, still watching the humans carefully. They are still foolish, he said, but their foolishness is unlike anything I have seen. They act without fear. They smile in danger. They speak loudly when they should be quiet. They are chaos in flesh. His companion, smaller and with pale blue skin, tilted its head. They are entertaining, it said softly. And yet, I feel something strange. This is not ordinary madness. There is a rhythm to it. There is control within their chaos. Meanwhile, the humans had stopped near a market that sold strange devices. One stall had small floating spheres that changed color and shape when touched. Lily reached out and pressed one. The sphere spun rapidly, then shot up into the air and hovered above her hand. Whoa, she laughed. Look at this. It's alive. Ethan picked up another sphere and tried to copy her movements. The sphere darted and spun unpredictably, almost like it was testing him. It's like a puzzle, he said. And humans love puzzles. Sophie shook her head with a smile. You too will break something before the night is over. Alex walked ahead, keeping an eye on the crowd. He noticed that some of the aliens were growing uneasy. Their movements became cautious, their whispers more urgent. Humans' energy and unpredictability were having an effect. "Do you feel that?" he asked softly. "They are starting to notice. That is good. We don't need to hide who we are." As if on cue, an alien nearby accidentally bumped into Ethan. It was a tall alien with a thin body and 6 long fingers. The alien blinked rapidly and said something in its melodic language. Ethan smiled brightly. "Hey, no harm done. You good?" The alien froze, unsure how to respond. Then, it tilted its head and walked away, more confused than angry. Ethan shrugged. "See? Easy. Humans solve problems fast." Lily, curious as always, wandered toward another group. These aliens were playing a game that involved tiny floating lights moving in complex patterns. Lily leaned in and studied the lights. Within moments, she started manipulating them, arranging them in shapes no alien had imagined. The aliens gasped. "What is she doing?" one whispered. "She is changing the game. She does not follow the rules, yet it works." Sophie, now carrying 2 glowing drinks, walked up to Ethan. "You're causing more trouble than anyone else. Careful, or they might get mad." Ethan laughed. "Careful is boring. Humans are not boring." Alex noticed that a group of larger aliens had begun watching them from a distance. These aliens were not amused, they were wary. One, a muscular creature with rough skin and glowing patterns, muttered to another. "They are reckless. They touch everything. They speak too loudly. They interfere with our customs. This could lead to conflict." Veklar, still observing from a rooftop above, narrowed his eyes. "I warned you," he said. "They are mad, but this madness is dangerous. It is unpredictable. They will either destroy themselves or destroy those around them." Back on the street, the humans had now entered a larger plaza. Music and lights pulsed from a giant building that looked like it could hold hundreds of beings. "That's where we are going next," Sophie said. "I can feel it. There is something happening there." Inside, the plaza was crowded. Aliens of all types moved in patterns humans could barely follow. Some sold items, some performed, and some simply watched the crowd. The human's presence was noticed immediately. Whispers spread through the crowd. Ethan accidentally brushed against an alien while reaching for a floating fruit. The alien froze, staring at him. Ethan smiled apologetically. "Oops. Didn't mean to." The alien blinked, then stepped back. "Humans are strange," it said to another. Lily had found a machine that looked like a mix between a game and a musical instrument. She pressed buttons, pulled levers, and the device began to spin and play tunes. Aliens stopped to watch as the patterns of light and sound formed shapes no one expected. "Look at that," a small alien whispered. "She is making the machine do things it should not do." "How?" Sophie, carrying her drinks carefully, walked past a group of aliens arguing over a small cube that floated in midair. "What's the problem?" she asked politely. The aliens looked at her in surprise. Sophie tilted her head. "Then let's see who can solve it faster." She reached out, and with simple but precise movements, rearranged the cube in a way that solved the puzzle. The aliens stared, some in shock, some in admiration. Alex noticed that even the usually confident Veklar was frowning. "They are clever," Veklar muttered. "Their chaos is not just energy, it is intelligence, strategy, hidden inside madness." Back in the plaza, the humans were having fun, laughing loudly. Ethan challenged a group of aliens to a race across the plaza. Lily started juggling floating orbs. Sophie found a dance-like challenge where aliens moved in complex patterns, and she mirrored them with perfect timing. The plaza grew louder, filled with humans' voices, laughter, and energy. Some aliens joined in, curious and entertained. Others became uneasy, muttering about human recklessness. Then came the first real trouble. A large alien, clearly irritated by the human's energy, bumped into Ethan deliberately. "Watch where you go, human," it snapped. Ethan turned, smiling. "Hey, no harm. Let's just enjoy the night. Okay?" The alien's eyes narrowed. "You are bold." "Bold is fun," Ethan replied. "Try it sometime." The alien stepped closer, flexing its long limbs. Lily noticed and stepped forward, placing her hands on her hips. "Back off," she said. "You have no idea what you're dealing with." The crowd around them grew tense. Some aliens whispered warnings. Others tried to move away. Humans' energy, loud and fearless, had drawn attention, and now the first signs of conflict were forming. Sophie, sensing the tension, placed herself slightly in front of Ethan. "Let's not make it worse," she said, but her eyes sparkled. Humans were unpredictable, and this could go in any direction. Alex, standing calmly, watched the situation. "Everyone, stay alert. Remember, humans survive because we adapt. Don't fight unless you have to." But the aliens had already begun whispering among themselves. Veklar, still observing from above, clenched his glowing fingers. "It is beginning," he muttered. "The humans' chaos is attracting trouble, but it is also fascinating. I cannot look away." The large alien, frustrated by its inability to intimidate Ethan, turned to others. "These humans are too reckless. We must act." Other aliens began moving closer, curious and cautious. Humans' boldness had disrupted the balance of the plaza. Their laughter, their confidence, and their fearless approach to every challenge made the aliens uneasy. Lily, noticing the growing tension, smiled confidently. "We've handled worse," she whispered to Sophie. Ethan laughed, still smiling at the large alien. "I like a good challenge." Sophie shook her head. "Humans really do enjoy chaos." The plaza grew louder, and the humans' energy filled the space. Some aliens stepped back, unsure of how to handle these creatures. Others began whispering, watching, and preparing to react. Humans had entered their territory and turned it upside down. Not with force, but with energy, curiosity, and sheer unpredictability. Veklar's eyes narrowed. "They are chaos," he said softly, "and yet they are not afraid. They turn every small incident into something greater. They are dangerous." By the end of the night, the humans had caused small incidents everywhere. Spilled drinks, rearranged games, loud laughter, and challenges that pushed the patience of every alien nearby. And yet, they were not afraid. They thrived in the chaos. Alex gathered his crew near the edge of the plaza. "Not bad for a start," he said. "We've made friends, caused a little trouble, and had fun. Tomorrow, we will explore more. But tonight, we've made an impression." Lily laughed. "An impression? We've left a mark." Ethan grinned. "And it's not even a full fight yet. Wait until tomorrow." Sophie shook her head, smiling. "You guys are impossible." And above the plaza, Veklar watched silently. "Humans," he whispered. "Madness wrapped in courage. Energy wrapped in chaos. I do not understand them. But I will watch. They are remarkable." The humans left the plaza eventually, tired but exhilarated. They had survived the night, entertained themselves, and begun to show the aliens that human madness was not weakness. It was a form of strength, a force impossible to predict or control. And as they walked back to their ship, laughing and teasing each other, The first hints of what would become a larger conflict were forming. The aliens had mocked the humans at first. Now, they were beginning to wonder if they had underestimated them entirely. The next evening, the humans returned to the plaza. The lights glowed brighter, music pulsed louder, and the crowd seemed larger than before. Aliens of all shapes and sizes were gathered, some curious, some cautious, and some openly wary. The humans walked in confidently, laughing and joking as if the chaos of the previous night was a small warm-up. Alex led the group, his posture calm but alert. "Remember," he said quietly, "we observe, we adapt, we enjoy ourselves. Don't start anything unless it starts with us." Ethan, carrying a small device he had bought the night before, waved to several aliens. "Hey, look what I got. Watch this." He pressed a button, and the device shot sparks into the air, spinning in circles and making bright patterns. Several young aliens gasped, impressed, while older ones scowled. Lily, always curious, wandered toward a cluster of games set on floating platforms. She studied them carefully, then began manipulating the devices, spinning and flipping pieces in ways that no alien had considered. A crowd quickly formed, watching her create patterns that were beautiful, chaotic, and completely unpredictable. Sophie, carrying drinks for the group, spotted a challenge happening near the bar. A group of aliens were playing a coordination game, trying to balance floating objects on a moving platform. She smiled. "I can do that," she said. In seconds, she joined the game, moving with precision and speed, keeping pace with the platform in a way that made the aliens step back in surprise. The humans' energy was infectious. The plaza buzzed with tension, amusement, and unease. Aliens whispered, some mocking the humans, others clearly impressed. But not all were entertained. A tall, muscular alien with rough gray skin and glowing red patterns approached. He looked angry, his many eyes narrowing at Ethan, who had accidentally bumped into him while juggling his new device. "Human," he said sharply, "your presence disturbs the order. You make noise. You interfere. You laugh too loudly." Ethan grinned. "Order is boring. Noise is fun. Interference is, well, we call it curiosity. And laughing is the best part." The alien's eyes widened in disbelief. "You speak without fear? Fear is for people who have something to lose," Ethan said lightly. "Humans, we just enjoy life." Lily stepped up beside him. "And don't forget, we're also very strong," she said, flexing her arms slightly. The alien hesitated. Humans were smaller, yes, but their confidence was unnerving. Sophie took a step forward, her hands on her hips. "If you want to test that, go ahead," she said. Her voice was calm, but her eyes sparkled with energy. The plaza grew tense. Other aliens began to notice, forming small groups, whispering to one another. Veklar, still watching from a nearby balcony, narrowed his glowing eyes. "It begins," he murmured. "The humans' chaos will either destroy them or destroy others. But I cannot look away." The tall alien took a deep breath, clearly trying to control himself. "You will regret this," he said, pointing a long finger at Ethan. Ethan shrugged. "We don't regret anything. You should try it sometime." That was the spark. The alien lunged at Ethan, moving faster than anyone expected. Ethan reacted instinctively, ducking and rolling to the side. Lily grabbed a nearby floating platform and swung it, knocking the alien slightly off balance. Sophie leapt forward, pushing Ethan out of the way, and Alex moved to block anyone else who tried to interfere. Suddenly, chaos erupted. Aliens who had been watching now jumped into the fray, either to help their friend or to assert dominance. Humans responded in kind, using quick movements, intelligence, and sheer unpredictability to stay ahead. The plaza became a swirling storm of motion. Chairs, tables, and floating platforms were used as shields and weapons. Drinks flew through the air, narrowly missing heads. Sparks from devices lit up the plaza, bouncing off walls and illuminating the chaos in bright flashes. Ethan, ducking a swipe from an alien's clawed hand, grabbed a small device and tossed it in the air. It exploded into a cloud of colored smoke, confusing his attackers. He laughed. Now we're talking. Lily flipped a spinning platform toward a group of aliens, knocking several off balance. She landed gracefully and ran to help Sophie, who was spinning and ducking between flying objects with a skill that made the aliens gape. Alex moved strategically, using his calm mind to direct the humans and minimize unnecessary damage. He noticed that the aliens, though larger and stronger, were becoming disoriented. Humans' unpredictability made them dangerous. Every movement seemed random, yet was perfectly timed. Veklar watched from above, his glowing eyes wide. They are not just chaos, he whispered. There is method in it. They survive because they adapt, and they adapt because they are fearless. This is remarkable. The fight continued to escalate. A group of smaller aliens tried to flank Ethan, but Sophie intercepted them, using a combination of quick reflexes and clever maneuvers. Lily moved to block their escape, creating a funnel where the humans could focus their defense. Ethan, grinning, grabbed a floating bottle and swung it like a baton, scattering the aliens further. We didn't come here to play nice, he said. We came to enjoy ourselves. Some aliens began to retreat, realizing that brute strength was not enough. Humans' chaotic tactics, combined with their courage and creativity, made them unpredictable. Others, however, became more aggressive, driven by anger and pride. Alex noticed the bar itself had become a battleground. Glasses shattered, tables overturned, and the bartender moved quickly, dodging flying objects while trying to maintain some control. We need to keep this from destroying the whole plaza, Alex said, though a small part of him could not help but admire the human's energy. Lily spotted a large alien approaching with clear intent to strike. She grabbed a metal rod from a broken table, spinning it in her hands. "Try me," she said with a grin. The alien hesitated, then lunged. Lily sidestepped and tapped the alien with the rod, sending it stumbling. She laughed, stepping aside gracefully. "Humans are tricky," she said. Sophie had noticed a group of aliens trying to corner Ethan. She leapt into the air, landing between them and using a combination of kicks and pushes to scatter them. "You can't trap us," she said. "We don't stay in one place." Ethan, meanwhile, used his agility to confuse his attackers, weaving between chaos, tossing objects, and keeping their attention away from his friends. His laughter echoed across the plaza. "Come on." The fight had grown large enough that spectators could not ignore it. Some aliens tried to help their comrades, while others watched in awe. Humans' ability to adapt to the situation, their fearlessness, and their wild energy created an entirely new dynamic in the plaza. Veklar, still observing from the balcony, leaned forward. "They are madness," he said. "But it is a dangerous, controlled madness. They are not like anything I have seen before. They are powerful." The brawl reached its peak when the large alien, who had started the fight, tried to attack Ethan directly again. Lily intercepted, knocking him off balance. Sophie and Alex coordinated to block other attackers, and Ethan used a floating orb to trip another alien. Every move the humans made was chaotic, but effective. Their laughter, energy, and courage turned what could have been a simple fight into a display of strategy and skill. The aliens were being forced to adapt to humans in real time, and many could not keep up. Gradually, the tide turned. Aliens who had been aggressive began to retreat, realizing brute strength would not win. Others hesitated, unsure how to handle the unpredictable humans. The humans, bruised but smiling, had created chaos and survived every attack. Alex gathered the crew near the center of the plaza. "Keep your eyes open," he said calmly, though his pride was clear. "We are showing them what humans can do, but don't let it get out of hand." Lily laughed, brushing dust from her clothes. "They thought they could scare us. They don't even know how strong humans really are." Ethan grinned. "And we didn't even use half our skills. Wait until they see what else we can do." Sophie smiled, shaking her head. Veklar watched silently as the humans regrouped. His companion nudged him. "We mocked them at first. We thought them mad. Now I see that their madness is something else. It is strength. It is courage. It is fearsome." The humans had survived the fight without serious injury, and in the process, they had proven something the aliens could not ignore. Chaos, unpredictability, and courage were not weaknesses. They were power. As the plaza slowly returned to order, with the injured aliens being tended to by their companions, the humans laughed and joked. Their energy had turned a potential disaster into a display of human skill and bravery. Veklar finally spoke aloud, his voice low and serious. "These humans, they are not foolish. They are not weak. They are something else entirely. Something we cannot predict. And that is dangerous for all of us." Alex turned to his crew. "That was fun," he said, smiling. "And they learned a lesson about humans tonight." Lily grinned. "A lesson they will not forget." Ethan laughed. "And neither will we." This was a great night. Sophie, smiling, added, "Let's get back to the ship. Tomorrow, we explore more. But tonight, humans won, and they did it in style." The humans left the plaza, bruised, tired, and laughing. Their energy, unpredictability, and courage had turned a simple night in an alien city into a chaotic, unforgettable display. And above them, Veklar and the others could not stop thinking about the humans' power, the power hidden inside their madness. The galaxy had never seen humans like this before, and the plaza of Zorith Prime would be talking about that night for years. The night after the bar brawl, the humans of the Endeavor gathered quietly on the observation deck of their ship. The city of Zorith Prime stretched below them, lights pulsing, streets slowly returning to their usual rhythm. The crew was tired, bruised, and sore, but their spirits were high. Alex Turner stood at the railing, looking down at the city. "That was something," he said quietly. "I've never seen anything like that." Lily Grant laughed, wincing slightly as she shifted. "I've never had so much fun getting hit and hitting back at the same time. Those aliens didn't know what hit them." Ethan Price grinned. "They thought they could scare us with words, then with strength. And we just adapted. Humans adapt." Sophie Hale shook her head, smiling. "They mocked us at first, and now they respect us. Or fear us. Maybe both." Alex nodded. "They will talk about tonight for years, and it won't be because we lost. It will be because humans are humans. Loud, messy, chaotic, but unstoppable when we need to be." Below them, in the city, the aftermath of the fight was evident. Tables were overturned, drinks spilled, and the plaza was littered with scattered objects. Aliens were helping each other up, some nursing bruises, others shaking their heads in disbelief. Veklar was among them, standing apart and staring toward the sky. "They are something else," Veklar whispered to his companion. "We thought them weak, chaotic, foolish. We were wrong. They are dangerous." His companion, still pale and trembling slightly from the energy of the night, nodded. And yet, they are not mindless. Their chaos is deliberate. They think fast. They react faster. They survive because they are unpredictable. Back on the Endeavor, Alex looked at his crew, proud. "This is what humans do," he said. "We walk into a situation, no matter how strange or dangerous, and we survive. We turn chaos into advantage, and we turn courage into strength." Lily stretched her arms. "And they had no idea what they were dealing with. They mocked us, and now they'll never forget us." Ethan laughed. "I wonder what they'll tell their friends. Humans? Mad? Loud? And terrifying." Sophie shook her head, smiling. "We're not mad. We're human. And this is what humans do." The crew settled into chairs, talking quietly about the night's events. They laughed about close calls, clever moves, and moments that had seemed dangerous but turned into victories. Each story reinforced the idea that humans were not just lucky, they were skilled, creative, and fearless. Meanwhile, in the plaza below, Veklar gathered a small group of aliens. They were all bruised, tired, and confused. But their attention was fixed on one thing: the humans. "They mocked us," Veklar said, his voice low but firm. "They laughed at our customs, our rules, our ways. And yet, they survived everything. They thrived in our chaos. We cannot underestimate them." One of the aliens, a smaller one with translucent blue skin, tilted its head. "What are they?" it asked. "They are not just strong or fast. They are something else. Something we cannot predict. They are humans," Veklar said slowly, almost in awe. "And we have only seen the beginning." 1. Back on the Endeavor, Alex walked to the ship's controls and looked at the navigation map. Zorith Prime was just the start. There are more places like this. More challenges. More people who will underestimate us. And that is exactly why we are humans. We will survive, we will adapt, and we will thrive. Lily smiled, leaning against the railing. "And we'll have fun doing it." Ethan nodded. "Fun and chaos, humans' two best tools." Sophie laughed softly. "And they said humans were foolish. They didn't see the power behind it." Alex turned to look at each of them. "That's what makes us dangerous. That's what makes us remarkable. Other species think chaos is weakness. They think unpredictability is a flaw. But humans turn chaos into strength. They learn faster, fight smarter, and survive when others would fall." The crew looked out at the city again. Far below, some aliens were still whispering, sharing stories of the humans who had caused so much chaos and yet emerged victorious. Some were angry, some embarrassed, and some quietly impressed. But all of them would remember. Veklar remained silent, watching the ship. "We mocked them," he said to himself. "And now we understand. Too late." On the Endeavor, the humans shared a quiet meal, recounting the night's events in laughter and detail. They spoke of each challenge, each fight, each moment of chaos that had turned into victory. Lily raised her glass. "To humans, loud, messy, fearless, and unstoppable." Ethan grinned and clinked his glass against hers. "And to chaos, because chaos is where humans shine." Sophie laughed. "And don't forget courage. Humans survive because we are brave. We face danger and make it ours." Alex smiled, proud of his crew and of what they represented. Tonight, we proved something, not just to the aliens, but to ourselves. We are humans, and humans are never to be underestimated. The city below slowly returned to its normal rhythm. The plaza was cleaned up, though remnants of the chaos remained. Broken tables, scattered objects, and a few glowing orbs that had not yet stopped spinning. Stories of the night's events would spread quickly, carried by whispers, rumors, and wide-eyed observers. Veklar and his companions left the plaza, still talking quietly among themselves. "Humans are not just unpredictable," he said. "They are remarkable. There is a power in their madness we cannot control." His companion nodded. "We must be careful. Humans do not follow our rules. They do not fear our strength. They are something new." Back on the Endeavor, the crew prepared for rest. Their bodies ached, and their bruises reminded them of the fight, but their spirits were high. They had faced the challenge, survived, and left an impression that would echo through Zorith Prime for a long time. Alex looked at the stars beyond the ship's window. "This is just the beginning," he said quietly. "Other worlds will challenge us. Other species will doubt us. But humans will always find a way." Lily yawned, stretching. "And have fun while doing it." Ethan grinned. "Humans and chaos. That's a combination no one can beat." Sophie smiled softly. "And that's what makes us human." The crew settled in for the night. Tired, but proud. Outside, the stars shone brightly, silent witnesses to the humans' triumph. Their laughter, courage, and unpredictable energy had proven that no species could fully measure the power hidden within human beings. Far below, in the city of Zorith Prime, whispers spread. Aliens told stories of the humans who laughed, fought, and thrived amidst chaos. They spoke of courage, unpredictability, and the strange, unstoppable energy that humans carried. Some spoke with anger, some with fear, and some with respect. But all acknowledged one thing: humans were not to be underestimated. Veklar watched from a distance, his eyes reflecting the stars. "They are humans," he whispered. "They are madness, courage, chaos, and strength all in one. And we have only begun to see what they are capable of." The humans slept that night, dreaming of new adventures, new worlds, and new challenges. They had faced the chaos of an alien city, survived a battle they had not planned for, and come out victorious. Their energy, courage, and unpredictability had left an indelible mark. And across the galaxy, aliens would remember. Humans were not just loud, chaotic, or reckless. Humans were fearless. Humans were clever. Humans adapted. Humans survived. And in their chaos, humans found strength that no one could measure and no one could predict. The story of that night, the night of laughter, chaos, and courage, would be told over and over, growing in legend. Aliens would whisper about the humans who laughed in the face of danger, who thrived in unpredictability, and who could not be controlled or tamed. On the Endeavor, Alex looked at his crew one last time before resting. "We are humans," he said softly, "and the galaxy will learn what that really means." Lily smiled. "Let them try to keep up." Ethan laughed. Sophie nodded. "Humans survive. Humans thrive. Humans win." Alex turned back to the stars. "And tomorrow, we continue. Other worlds, other challenges, other lessons. But one thing is certain: humans will never be underestimated." Outside, the galaxy was quiet, but the echoes of human courage, madness, and strength would travel far and wide, shaping the thoughts of every species that had witnessed it. The humans of the Endeavor had arrived, and the universe would never forget them.